A Guten Erev Shabbos and a joyous month of Adar. This week's Insight I am recording at the J. Verno Studios on the south side of Pittsburgh. This coming Monday night, after a 2-day annual fundraiser, we will gather here for a spectacular VIP event. Tamir Goodman will travel here from Eretz Yisrael to give the keynote address. Tali Yes, backed by popular demand, will entertain us with his soulful voice and guitar, and the event will be catered by our very own Elegant Edge. In this week's Parsha, the Torah instructs us to build a Mishkan, v'asu li mikdash v'shachanti b'soichem. The Torah then enumerates the various kelim that were in the Mishkan, the utensils that were in the Mishkan, beginning with the Aron, the holy ark, which had in it the Sefer Torah. What was on top of the ark? So the Pasuk details, shares with us, that the Kruvim, the two Kruvim, face of a boy and the face of a girl, were on top of the Aron to communicate and to teach us that the purpose of Torah is to communicate it and to teach the next generation. There's actually a fascinating halacha, a fascinating law, and that is that if the community doesn't have the wherewithal, doesn't have the financial ability, they don't need to cover all the other utensils with gold, they can just make them copper. The only utensil that needs to be covered with gold are the Chruvim, to teach us that when it comes to education, there cannot be a compromise. We have to invest all our money and all our efforts to ensure that the education is an outstanding one. I heard a story from an individual who traveled to Israel after the horrible massacre of October 7th. He heard this story from a taxi driver, a man in his 70s who had fought in the Yom Kippur War. This fellow told him, he said, "I owe an apology to the young men and women, to the Gen X individuals." He says, "I always thought that these Gen X people were entitled. They were distracted with their cell phones and their gadgets. And I was always concerned if, God forbid, catastrophe struck, would they be able to defend Israel?" He says, "I owe them an apology because they have done an unbelievable job. Their resilience, their determination, their skill, their unity, their commitment to the people and to each other is extraordinary, far beyond what my friends and I experienced in the 73 war." Ladies and gentlemen, we have the schus, the merit, and also the responsibility of educating our young boys and girls and young men and women at yeshiva schools. And it is our responsibility to raise the necessary funds to ensure that we have the wherewithal and the means to provide an outstanding education. Sunday and Monday will be our annual 2-day fundraiser titled Here to Stay. Here to stay safe, here to stay strong, and here to stay proud. And we ask each and every one of you to contribute by going to charity.com/here to stay. And together we will provide yeshiva with the necessary funds to continue to educate the children who will carry the torch of Kal Yisrael until the coming of Mashiach. Have a wonderful Shabbos and a wonderful month of Adar.